welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and I join you with no bronzer on because today I want to talk about the new NYX Buttermelt bronzers. I thought I was going to remember the name and I didn't. So these are new from NYX. They do retail for $10 each. There's 8 shades and I did buy both of these at Ulta. I was beside myself with excitement when these came out. I don't know why, it just looked so good. There's something about the packaging that is just so appealing, and each package for each bronzer is a different tone, so it kind of represents the tone that you'll get in the bronzer. I'm guessing in case you buy multiple shades like a crazy person like me, you'll know which one you're grabbing for when they're both floating around in your drawer. But I do like when brands color their packaging based on the color of the product. I just like that. So these do say they have a 6-month shelf life. I don't know about you, but I've never used up a bronzer in 6 months. Have I even used up a bronzer? I don't even know. But anyway, these are called the Buttermelt bronzers. They do have a beautiful scent. I mean, it's like a little bit like Physicians Formula butter bronzer scent. A little lighter though, like you could tell that's not what it is, but they're going for that kind of a thing. And it does smell really nice. It doesn't bother me throughout the day. I don't get a whiff of it and go like, oh, what is that smell? It kind of goes away after application, and like by the time you finish your makeup, I don't really notice the scent at all, but it is there and it is noticeable, just a heads up. This hasn't bothered me at all, irritated my skin or anything like that, and I don't smell it throughout the day. Never gave me a headache either, which is always very important to me. On Ulta's website, they say this is a buildable, lightweight formula infused with mango butter, shea butter, and almond butter. It is transfer resistant, fade resistant, crease resistant for up to 12 hours. It also comes in 8 shades. It says here, never greasy, never muddy. Why never greasy? That's weird. Maybe because it's a matte formula? I don't know. I just realized that. Like, why would they call it not greasy? It's not even a cream formula. Anyway, it's not greasy. Muddy, ashy, or patchy. Use the Buttermelt bronzer brush to sweep the formula with ease and dimension, to add dimension. I didn't know there was a Buttermelt brush, but I've been using my own brushes for these. So this is what they look like. I feel like they could have put a mirror in there. I don't know. It's just a little empty space. This is the first shade that I bought. This is the shade Deserve Butter. And I think I featured this in like a try-on video or something like that. They are very, very pigmented. So there were 8 shades, and when I went into Ulta to exchange this because I wanted to get a different shade, I forgot it in my car, so I ended up just buying another one. So now I have 2 of them. And I will demo both of these today so you can kind of see how they go on my skin. As far as the formula goes, like I said, very, very pigmented. They are a little bit powdery, so when you dip in your brush, it does like dust up everywhere and picks up quite a bit of product. But that is the shade Deserve Butter right there. One interesting thing about all of these bronzers, and it was very evident as well in like the promotional pictures for these, they're all very pink and rosy toned. Even in the swatches that they show on Ulta's website, they're very, very pink. And I don't mind that. I think it's really a pretty look to have a nice rosy bronze on your skin. This one right here is the shade Buttercup. So there's Deserve Butter, Buttercup. And look at those. Don't those look like blushes? I mean, when I saw the promotional pictures for these, I immediately thought, oh, that's definitely gonna be a blush color. And I do like a little bit of red or pink or orange in my bronzer. I just like that kind of tone. Where's my little rag? So I don't mind that. I think it's a very pretty look. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Too Faced Sweetie Pie bronzer that had those little pink speckles in it. I really love that kind of tone on my skin. But even for me, someone who loves that kind of thing, these are a little much for me to use as bronzers. So I am going to demo both of these, and I'm going to use Deserve Butter all over the skin, and then I'm going to use the other color as the most beautiful blush you've ever seen, and I'm also going to use it on the eyes because it's so freaking pretty on the eyes. So these are very pigmented, like I said, and this one I do find a little bit hard to blend. I don't know if that's just the pigmentation, but I feel like I have powdered my skin enough, and I feel like this shouldn't like stick or get patchy. It does claim not to be patchy, and not to say that it goes on patchy, but I do think it's hard to blend a little bit. So on my face right now, I have the Kulfi Main Match Concealer all over my entire face and under the eyes. And then I set it all with the Kosas Cloud Set Powder in the shade Breezy all over the face. So I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild brush and I'm just gonna dip in one time like that. And you know what I'm gonna try to do? Let me try to like work it into the brush a little bit. I'm gonna do this kind of thing here. I haven't tried this before, but I find when I go straight from the brush right to the face, it goes on kind of patchy and blends kind of funny. So I'm gonna try to just like work it into the brush a little bit more, see if this might help it blend a little nicer. But like right away, it's very, very pigmented and I'm just gonna kind of dab it around. I don't love to reach for this as bronzer because I do like something a little more easygoing, a little more carefree. Most of the time when I use this, like yesterday, I literally just dab like barely into the pan because it's just too pigmented. And like, look how much color is already depositing on my face. This is going on a lot nicer though, that I kind of worked it into the brush rather than going straight from the pan. But I don't like that I have to really make it work for me, you know? I like something a little more carefree. I like to be able to just dip in the pan and not be afraid of it. And unfortunately, this bronzer for me is one that I'm kind of afraid of. And I was looking at the reviews on Ulta's website as well, and a lot of people really, really like these. They like the formula. I mean, it is really nice and silky. It smells great. But a lot of people also didn't like it because it's so rosy. Some people said the shades are too orange on their skin tone. A lot of people said they're just too pink. So there is Deserve Butter blended out on the skin. I am going to put some of this on my neck too, but I'm going to work it into the brush here. And that's what I've been doing, working it into the brush. You can see the finish is very, very satin. I don't really see that too much when I put it on as bronzer, but when I put it on as blush, you'll probably see a lot more of that real satin finish show up. But just looking at it in the pan, it doesn't really look like it's gonna be that shimmery, right? It looks like it's gonna be really matte, but it does have a nice, like really pretty satin finish. Oh my God, look what I just did. It's because I didn't do this. I just dipped it right in the pan and went straight to my neck. Oh my gosh, no, no, no. This is what always happens when I go straight onto my face. It gets very, very patchy really quickly. Oh my God, what'd I do? Okay. I'm gonna try to fix it with my makeup sponge and try to dab it off. Okay. Shoot. So, all in all, this shade here, too pigmented for my liking. I don't like to have to really make something work, but it does look pretty once you blend it out, but I'm sure you could kind of see it's very like blush forward. Not a bad thing, but you know, I don't think this kind of tone is going to be for everybody. And every single shade, like I'll pop up the swatches here that they put on Ulta's website, every single shade has some rosiness to it, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I don't think everyone's gonna like it. But I do really like that it's something different and not just another basic warm tone bronzer. I think it's really, really cool that they put a little bit of a blushy tone in them. I like it. I think it's something nice and different, but not my favorite like formula. It's just a little too pigmented, but still very smooth, very nice. So I'm gonna go for the shade Buttercup, this one here too. Very, very pink toned, and this is the lightest shade. And since this one was so pigmented when I went in to exchange it, I did want to get the lightest shade because I thought, oh my God, if the lightest shade is just as pigmented, this is probably gonna be the best one for my skin tone and like for my preferences. The display at Ulta was completely sold out. Every single shade was gone except the lightest one, which I was really happy about. They had testers of all of the colors and I did swatch all of them. All of them are very pretty. They're very pretty, and I almost would love to buy another one in a different tone just to use as blush, because this color has become my go-to blush. I cannot stop wearing this. For example, yesterday, me and my boyfriend went out and we were just outside all day in the sun, no shade cover at all, and I wasn't gonna wear a lot of makeup, but I could not wear this. Like, I look forward to putting this on because it's so pretty. I did just dab my brush in there, and I don't know if you can see the powder that did kick up. It's not a lot, but it's there. Just wanted to give you a heads up. So I am gonna put this on as blush, and you'll see how rosy it is. And you could really see that satin finish shine when you concentrate it a lot on the cheeks. Because you could see it here, the way I was working it into the brush, but you can't really see it when you're wearing it as a bronzer. But I don't even feel the need for highlight when I put this on. Like, look how rosy that is. I'm not complaining. I think it's very pretty. And I think I would really like this maybe as a topper to some other bronzer, like just a little bit of like that rosy color would look nice on top of something else, but I haven't been brave enough to put this on my whole face because I think it'll just be a little much. But I think a tone like this is so beautiful for like a blush draping kind of thing, because I'm gonna put this on my eyes, and when you like connect it like this on this whole side, it looks so pretty. On the nose, of course. And I was outside all day long yesterday. I did, we were outside in the hot sun. It wasn't blazing hot sun, you know, it's still the beginning of spring, but direct sun all day, no shade, no clouds, no nothing. And this stayed on my skin the entire day. I also came home and did a lot of gardening outside, literally until it got dark and I couldn't see anymore. This was still on my skin and it still looked so good. I really, really like this as a blush. I think these really sing as blushes, but I did see that NYX is putting out the Buttermelt formula in blushes. I gotta try one, but I kind of really like these as blushes because, I mean, look how pretty that looks. It's so nice. And let me get a little brush here. Let's put it on the eyes. This blends on the eyes so easy. Like, look at that. I do have primer on, but when I put these on without any primer, it blends just as nice, just as smooth, just as easy. It lasts all day long. It's a really beautiful bronzer formula, just a tad too pigmented for my preferences as bronzer. At least this shade was very pigmented. It's so pretty, and it's just like a nice little monochromatic look here. And not every bronzer works that good as an eyeshadow. There's something about putting a bronzer on an eyeshadow brush that sometimes it just doesn't work. But this, so nice. And you could really see that kind of pink tone really shine through a lot more when you're concentrating it really as an eyeshadow. Let's do a little on the lower lash line. I'm actually going to use a little of this other color on the lower lash line. I have used this as eyeshadow as well. I actually used this one yesterday as eyeshadow. Works beautiful. In fact, this is probably the best eyeshadow formula that NYX has ever put out. If they would make an eyeshadow palette with this formula, it would be the freaking bomb, because these right here blend like an absolute dream. And I just love it. I'm gonna do a little, just whatever's on the brush, and just kind of connect this area here. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, but I'm just gonna keep going forever. Okay, stop. That's it. So that's that bronzer on my cheeks used as blush. I think it's so freaking pretty. So pretty. You definitely don't need highlight, although it's not shimmery or glittery. It has a really nice satin finish that will last all day long. Through sweating, gardening, whatever you're doing, the blush is still gonna be there looking so freaking pretty. So let me throw on some mascara and we will wrap it up. I'm actually gonna put a little bit of that darker one, just a little bit on the outside here. I can't believe how good this performs as an eyeshadow. I mean, NYX, I feel like stumbled upon their best eyeshadow formula yet with this bronzer formula. And to be honest, I almost want to try some of the other colors now just to exclusively use as blush and eyeshadow, because I love this look right here. I love it. I did put on setting spray, so I'm looking a little more shiny and wet. So pretty. Okay, mascara. And I feel like this is one of those products that if they didn't put the name bronzer on it, people would use it as a blush or an eyeshadow. And I think sometimes, you know, I do the same thing all the time, but we get kind of boxed in by what the product says it is, and then we feel like that's the only way that we're supposed to use it. Like, I don't think this is a bronzer for me personally. It's definitely a blush and an eyeshadow, and a really beautiful one at that. But when they put bronzer on it, you're expecting to be able to use it around the perimeters of your face and your neck and really give your skin a nice warm glow. I mean, you can still do that with this, but I think if they just put on it multi-use face powder or something, people would be able to be a little more open to what the powder can do rather than feeling boxed in by the bronzer name. Does that make any sense? Am I just talking crazy? Okay, so my final thoughts on these. I really love the shade Buttercup as a blush. Obviously, I love it. Like, I literally look forward to using this. There's something about this little chunky packaging too that's just really nice to handle. I don't know what that's about. Formula, so blendable, so smooth. It's so freaking pretty. I love the tone of this one. It blends easy and it does last all day long. All day long without fail. This blush is gonna look just like this at the end of the night. I think it's really good as an eyeshadow as well. This is the lightest shade. I love it so much. I think NYX has stumbled upon their best blush formula and their best eyeshadow formula in this bronzer formula. Don't get locked in by the bronzer name. Use it for whatever you want. I think you'll like it a lot more if you don't feel like you can only use it on the perimeter of your face as a bronzer. The shade Deserve Butter isn't my favorite as a bronzer. I think it's way too pigmented and it's just kind of annoying for me to use it because I can't be as carefree with it. I have to really go out of my way to make it work as a bronzer. But as a blush, very pretty, as well as eyeshadow, super nice. I think this is really pretty and I love the pinky undertones. I think it's great. This one I think I'm gonna throw in my eyeshadow drawer. I think it's great as a single eyeshadow. I don't wanna reach for this one as often as blush, but it is very pretty if you use it like that. This is definitely going in the blush drawer. I love this one a lot. So that's my quick takeaway on these, I was gonna say blushes, on these bronzers from NYX. Let me know if you tried one. Are you interested? I do wanna check out the blush formula they're coming out with to see if it's anything similar to this. I hope it's this formula because it's really good. I really like this a lot. But that is it. Let me know if you've tried these bronzers. What do you think about them? Do you love the pinky undertones? Do you not love the rosiness so much? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next one. And I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.